Hey YouTube! Finally we've got some decent weather here in Scotland. Makes a refreshing change. So just about to head out and chill out with a barbecue. Just a mini rant about, I was speaking to a local tobacconist, just the other day. And obviously the news around here is dominated by the minimum pricing policy on alcohol in Scotland. Obviously it's related to tobacco as well, because the price of tobacco here is just ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't know why the government are doing it. Obviously they want to be seen to, for people not to be smoking. They want to be seen to be all health conscious and so forth. But do you think the Chancellor of the Exchequer is sitting there going, oh, what we want to do is cut the revenue from taxation of tobacco? Absolutely not. They talk about I've heard people say that the revenue from taxation of tobacco products is approximately 10 million. Now, I've also heard that figure to be much higher. And then there's the cost. They say, oh, the anti-tobacconists lobbies say, well, it's the cost of the NHS. Now, I wouldn't like to be without the NHS. It's a great institution, which is funded by the bloody taxation of tobacco. So I've no real problem with that. But I know that's a contradiction, but what the NHS is spending on people dying from smoking or smoking-related illnesses is much less. Millions and millions of pounds less than it is from the revenue they generate. So really, smokers should be given tax breaks. And as for alcohol, now, the taxation on alcohol has always been high. But now, they're talking about introducing a minimum pricing policy per unit on alcohol. Per unit, man. Now, I'm not sure what this is actually going to be, but they're talking about 50p a unit. Now, in a standard litre, or standard bottle, 70 centilitre bottle of spirits, that's about 28 units of alcohol. That's £14 for a bottle of vodka. £14. And the cheap shit you buy, like the cheap alcohol, you buy a cheap bottle of vodka for £7. Okay, you'd probably go blind drinking it, but it's £7. People's budgets don't stretch to that far, and okay, you can justify it with like the really cheap cider and stuff, but people really are getting messed up in this country on, it ruins their stomach lining and all sorts. You get this really cheap, nasty cider that's made of apples. For any of you who don't know, cider is made from apples. But this cheap stuff that they sell really cheap and strong, is actually made from onions. Onions. Bloody is too. And it just rots people's stomach, and it rots the damage this stuff does to people. I see this shit on a first day basis, everyday basis. Alright, so that's it, mini rant. the government are going to end up taxing themselves out of the market. Now, what this is playing into is the fact that organised crime syndicates, which are organised down mainly the east coast of Britain, you know, like Aberdeen, Glasgow, Liverpool, Manchester, London. They're all separate, but they're interlinked. You know, you think about organised crime, you think about robberies and importing drugs and stuff. Alcohol and tobacco, listen for it, wait for it, they're drugs. Now, there's illegal, fake or imitated, you know, tobacco products being brought in now and sold everywhere. People, most cigarette smokers, a large number of cigarette smokers are, you know, not buying them from retail shops, and that just creates a market for organised crime. And so the government are not getting the taxation, as much taxation as they should. Now, what's the answer? I mean, the answer surely has got to reduce taxation to a reasonable level where people will buy from shops without feeling they're hard done by. It will be enough competition against organised crime to stop them importing alcohol and cigarettes. This levy on alcohol, I mean, like, and the gangsters will just be dancing in the aisles, thinking, "Wow, we've got a happy day now." They'll be bringing in bottles and bottles of this stuff and selling it for a fraction of the price. Sales of alcohol in this country will go down, in my prediction, massively, but the consumption of alcohol will not, because it will be bought illegally. So they need to reduce taxation so it's an acceptable level. You know, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Why are they pricing themselves out of the market and opening up a bigger market for organised crime, which already exists in this country? So Great Britain, get a grip. Hope you're all well and puffing happily. I have one of my Sorens, one of my favourite pipes, and in it, I can't remember what I've got. It's good anyway. It's fairly strong English. Right, take it easy guys. Finishing this bolt and then I'm going to go out and sit in the sun. See you later.